Have you ever wanted to watch a film that specifically explores the idea of dissent and justice? This weekend, two of the world's most populous countries marked 79 years of independence. However, we're here to discuss a globally relevant film that questions the very idea of what it means to be truly free from colonization. Gunjal is a 2023 feature film that on the forefront is based on the events of the life of child activist Iqbal Masih, but is actually a nuanced and layered narrative that will leave you with many questions. Set in Lahore in 1995, the story begins when a struggling Christian journalist, Shahbaz Bhatti, played brilliantly by Ahmed Akbar, sets out looking for a job because the newspaper that he's working for is closing. Soon to be out of work, he doesn't land the job, but instead gets one piece of valuable advice from the interview from Umair Rana's character playing another chief editor that changes his trajectory as a journalist.
आम सहाफियों की तरह पैसे के पीछे भागने बजाय स्टोरी के पीछे भागो.
A child activist named Iqbal Masih is brutally shot in his village one night and his killer goes scot-free. This judgment sparks Bhatti to embark on a convoluted and cumbersome investigation, only to realize that the truth is far more complicated than it appears. Each lead then exposes contradictions for Bhatti, and just when he thinks he has the answer, he gets entangled in another convoluted mess, a Gunjal of sorts, in his quest for the truth.
सच की आवाज बुलंद करने की कोई ना कोई कीमत चुकानी पड़ती है.
To give credit where it's due, Shoaib Sultan's Gunjal doesn't pretend to be anything that it is not. The film stays sincere and succeeds in creating what many blockbuster films fail to do: create empathy and a subconsciousness in its viewers. The script, written by Nirmal, Bano and Kazmi, with additional dialogues from Bari and Qasim Farid, mix real history with fiction and ingeniously sensitive dialogue.
इंसाफ ऐसी चिड़िया है शहबाज जिसे इस मुल्क में बैठने की इजाजत नहीं.
I have strongly always believed that the more locally rooted a story is, the more global it becomes. Gunjal also deserves to be applauded because, unlike Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, women have a lot to do in the film and actually move the story forward. They aren't just wallflowers who look pretty. Bhatti's boss, Sarwat, is played by the impressively radiant Resham in a never-before-seen avatar as the owner of a family newspaper. She struggles to keep the newspaper up and running, but her privilege allows her to be unbothered about what will happen to all the journalists who have been working for the newspaper for decades.
4 बरसों में इस अखबार की रीडरशिप बहुत गिरी है. हुकूमत से मुंहमारी करने और इख्तिलाफ राय रखने के सिले में गवर्नमेंट ने हमें इश्तिहार नहीं दिए. उसके बावजूद मैंने बहुत कोशिश की, बहुत जोर लगाया कि किसी भी तरह ये अखबार निकलता रहे. बट नाउ आई एम टायर्ड, बोथ मेंटली एंड फिजिकली. ये हफ्ता हम लोगों का आखिरी हफ्ता होगा और इस जुमे को नई सुबह का आखिरी एडिशन छपेगा.
You can't entirely blame Sarwat because she asks you. How can a newspaper report honestly, run consistently, and question the state if it is dependent for its survival on government revenue? Amna Ilyas plays Meher, a school teacher turned activist fighting for justice for Iqbal Masih. Her powerful performance comes alive in a remarkably riveting dinner party sequence at Sarwat's house, where Meher's comeback smack the hypocrisy out of the rich and elite on their face. These are the very aristocrats who work at NGOs that pretend to alleviate environmental crises and social issues and then employ children to work at their homes. That interaction slowly unravels the stark class difference between the haves and the haves not, and a fleeting special appearance by Samia Mumtaz leads us to question if we are truly free or still colonized but with a different colonizer.
And isn't your organization currently working on a report that states no child labor exists in Pakistan? I mean, we had child labor on display just a few moments ago.
We have child labor because ours is a poor country. A family of 8 or 9 has no option but to send their children out to work. The state cannot provide for everybody. It simply does not have the means.
Gunjal is not just a recap of another brutal social and ideological assassination in history, but is a labor of love embedded with issues pressingly relevant today. The dangers of honest crime reporting, the fractured freedom of the press, the growing extinction of print journalism, child labor, post-partition imperialization, and the complicated and questionable role of NGOs in working towards development and progress over lack of sustained state support. While researching for this film, I heard someone say that history is just collective trauma, and this film is testament to that. Even though the film depicts the horrors of child labor in the 1990s, nothing much seems to have changed since then. Child labor is still rampant today in several South Asian countries, even in the 21st century. The film shifts back and forth from Irfan and Bhatti's point of view and intelligently uses language to its advantage. It migrates between Urdu, English, and Punjabi to highlight civilian losses and glaring injustices in the legal and judicial system, which leave minorities, children like Iqbal Masih, and youngsters like Mir Raza Ali as collateral damage. Gunjal also investigates who decides what people will consume as news, the process of fact checking, the sensitivity of legal judgments, and the idea of what is made apparent and what remains secretly concealed is evident through the film's intelligent cinematography and lighting.
मुझे नहीं पता था कि ये जुल्म इतना अंधा।
Ikram Khan, the film's DOP, brilliantly captures Masih's haunting murder in almost complete darkness, but shoots the acquitted going scot-free and the rich behind operating the carpet mafia, sauntering about in broad daylight. Even 3 years after having seen the film, I am left with deep appreciation for the entire cast and crew, especially the director of photography and his team. In one frame, Ahmed Ali Akbar is standing longingly hoping for a job, baffled by Rana's walk and talk style of interview. Umair Rana's reflection is visible as he speaks during Wazoo in the blurred and stained mirror, which resonates the state of print journalism itself. Fading, stained, struggling, and fissured due to lack of support. Ikram and the director Shoaib Sultan both create frames and cinematography which transport audiences back to the 1990s, effectively evoking the setting of Lahore and the dry isolation of rural Punjab in the film. You can tell that the team of Gunjal has worked carefully on costumes, architecture, and production design, and the artwork matches the era, thus blending the idea of flexible truth with fictional retelling. After watching this film for the umpteenth time, I'm still left asking why such significant films like Gunjal are so underrated.
बस की बात नहीं है. One-sided crusade. Research नहीं होती.
तुम्हें या मुझे क्या लगता है, इससे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. सवाल ये है कि सच क्या है.
क्या है सच?
ये ढूंढना तुम्हारा काम है, शहबाज.
In a sea of commercials, digital tsunamis, social media, propaganda films, or TV channel-funded blockbuster movies, Gunjal is a film that screams the need for us to support offbeat, local cinema that serves as a noteworthy protest against several rampant issues. If you are a sincere viewer, after watching Gunjal, you will be asking who you should really blame for Iqbal Masih's killing. The state that cannot feed its poor citizens, the judicial system that fails to the poor, the media that couldn't uncover the truth, the NGOs who used Masih as a prop to display their progress and took him to America to highlight the carpet mafia, Masih's father for being a drunkard, or Masih's mother for taking him to work at the carpet mill, or the killer paid to use a gun to shoot a child so that no one would dare to question child labor again. In a haunting scene that brought me to tears was one set in Irfan Masih's house. Masih visits home after several weeks of working at a carpet mill. He gifts a rag doll made from leftover carpet fiber to his younger sister. She notices his hands stained red and blue from carpet weaving and bursts into tears. Even when Irfan sleeps, his hands stay awake in motion weaving carpets. Played poignantly by the young Syed Muhammad Ali, I will never be able to look at carpets the same way, often wondering which hands have shed blood to weave them. This film encapsulates myriad genres all at one: an investigative socio-political thriller, a historical retelling, a period film, a social drama, and it serves as the epitome of low-budget, independent Pakistani narrative cinema. The real success of the film is embedded in its direction by Shoaib Sultan, the script, the dialogue, casting, and design. Gunjal doesn't sledgehammer its audiences with any one answer. It does not try to solve this Gunjal, but instead highlights the collective failure of a system that is free on paper, but in reality silences any voice that dares to differ, object, protest, resist, and dare we say, express dissent. The last frame will leave you pondering on what you can do to play your part, but it could be something as simple as rejecting child labor, boycotting products with unfair labor practices, or just educating another child who cannot afford to go to school. In an interview, the film's lead, playing Shahbaz Bhatti, actor Ahmed Akbar said that stars and actors in the industry need to do more to raise their voices, and this film is his way of raising awareness. As film lovers, isn't this why we consume significant cinema? Starring a stellar cast and some excellent notable special appearances like Samia Mumtaz, Syed Tanveer Hussain, Umair Raina, Gunjal is freely available for you to watch with English subtitles on YouTube. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, Pakistan ranked 153 out of 180 and India ranked 157 in the 2026 World Press Freedom Index released by Reporters Without Borders. But the real ranking you should be assessing for yourself as a film lover is, are you consuming enough significant cinema? Like, share, subscribe to my channel for more InfoViews and follow Kefiyat Studios for what leading film critics and commercial content reviewers won't tell you.